Hello everybody, welcome to Amakhosi. This is an show. Like, comment, subscribe. Guys, I'm sorry for the delayed recording. I was at a wedding Thursday. Yeah, I enjoyed myself. I was emceeing it. It was a beautiful, beautiful wedding. Yeah, that's why I did not record on yesterday. So I was tired. Like I was really tired. I had to just rest. Yes, I wasn't working. I just had to rest. So yeah, I want to share an article that I saw. I think it is from Pagat. From Pagati, yeah, I think it's from Pagati. It's Teko speaking about Kaizer Chiefs. I don't know why, I don't know why Teko is talking about Kaizer Chiefs, but it could be that he's a worried sport fanatic, not necessarily a worried Sundowns fan or worried former Pirates player as well, but he's just worried because he sees that it's boring, it's becoming boring. The fact that Sundowns is always winning the league, and he just give us a piece of advice on what we can do to compete again with the Sundowns, and says that it's not always that money will win you trophies, not always likely that these teams that are big they will buy everyone, that they'll win leagues, but it also shows that we have dropped our standard as Pirates, as Kaizer Chiefs as well. So we have dropped our standards that we can't even compete that much. And I've been having a conversation with a couple of people, and I said that probably this is how we should, or how our team should look at this. Instead of going to buy these expensive players or to compete with Sundowns pound for pound, finance wise, or in terms of our world, we might not be where Sundowns is at the current moment, and it's fine, but we can develop our own players, and with proper scouting, we can get players like proper players. I think we have neglected the scouting department has have neglected their role and their responsibility of going out and scouting. I mean, like, people are uploading Shepard and Zwane for scouting this guy, Castillo. But my question is, can't we have more Castillos? Can't we have your Jabupules? Can't we have your Scapmolats, your Juna Kanyas? Can't we have your Tikiti? Can't we have these guys well not that known? That we went out there and we went to buy proper players who became like quality players because they needed some polishing. They were rough diamonds. They needed some polishing. Can't we go there? Like, go out there. I mean, I can even go and scout for Kaizer Chiefs. I can scout for Kaizer Chiefs. Yes, you need qualifications and all, but you need to spot talent. You need to have an eye for talent. You can have the qualifications, but if you don't have the eye for talent, then you can miss out on recruiting like proper players. But yeah, and even you, some of you can do that, can recruit better players than the players that you have now, and we can recruit like so inexpensive players so that our team can be revived as we've been rebuilding. We've been rebuilding for so many years. We can't be rebuilding so many years and putting and keep on pumping money into these projects and think that it's going to be revived. We need proper scouting. We need people who have a talent for, who have an eye for talent. We need proper coaches as well. We need proper coaches because we do have players, and even in the MDC, we do have players. We just need someone who look at those players, give them a chance and a fair chance, and then work on them, polish them, and prepare them to be like these, not necessarily well-known players, but to be these players that who can fight for the club, can fight for the patch. When last did you have players like your Simpwe Shabalas, whom you knew that these guys would fight for the club, they'll fight for the patch, they would die for the patch? When last you have your Nengo Marshals, people that you knew that they can go through the brick, your your Katsanes, whom you know that they'll go through the brick wall to make sure that the club wins. When last you have those players who are fight up for our team? Some would say no, it's because these guys are demoralized. These guys are demotivated. These guys they lack passion. These guys, they're earning so much money and they don't feel like they need to work hard. Sure, I can agree with you on to a certain extent on that one, but we need also to check how these guys are when they play. Say that we go to Davidson as we used to do, or we even go to Soweto as we used to do also, and watch these games, watch these guys like playing. Like you see a player that they hate losing, not these guys who, after losing, that you see them walking in the malls, holding their girlfriends as if nothing happened. Like people whom you see that, you know what, they even fight amongst each other because they hate losing. When last did you have such players? When last did you have so those players who, when they lost, that you can see in their face and they give their all, they run their socks out, even in the field of play. You see that, you know, these guys, they gave their all, even if they can lose, but you did see that they gave their all. But nowadays we don't even see that. We don't see players giving their all. Like players nowadays, let me not say nowadays, let me say in our team, nowadays in our team, players, they lack that passion. Like they don't die for the team anymore. They don't give their all anymore. Like you hardly see players giving their all, playing for the bench. If I was to ask you, let me just ask you now, name me like four players in our team that you know that these guys can die for our team. Four players, not so many. Like name me four. Name me four players that you can say, you know what, these guys can die for a team. And don't mistake in what you saw on media where Peterson was fighting the coach and think that these guys can fight for our players. I mean, you need to see this week in, week out for us to say that these players can fight for the team. They are fighting amongst themselves because they love our club. Name me four. Name me four players. Name me four players. I'm not talking about your favorite players, but people that you see in the field of play, that they give their all, that they run until like they have nothing in them. They have no energy whatsoever in them because they've given their all. Name me those four players. I now probably might also need a coach who can motivate these guys. I'll also give an update on what is happening. Probably in the next video, I'll give you an update on what's happening on that coaching department. But for now, I think that we are lacking players who fight for the team, like who play for the bench. I'm not saying there's no one, but I'm saying name me four. Sharp. Moving right along, let me go back to the article that started this passion that you have seen already. So Teko said this. Okay, first it was yeah, Teko advice to Kaizer Chiefs. I'm reading you what he says. Sorry about this. I'm using my phone to open and yeah. And then we're gonna discuss, debate, whatever you wanna say. It's from Paga to this article. It came on the 22nd of March 2024, which was like yesterday. Teko said, what Kaizer Chiefs need to do is to get back to what Kaizer Chiefs needs to do to get back to winning trophies. In the last 2 seasons, they have had three coaches, three different styles of play. Let me pause there. This is just like a subtopic. In 2 years, Kaizer Chiefs, they've had three coaches with different style of play. Do you remember what I said to you? When I was speaking about a coach who will have a vision, a coach who will have a style of play from the senior team to the MTC, from the MTC to you're under 18, you're under 15. Do you remember when I said that you need a coach who will visit these divisions, who would go and say, okay, this is a style of play that I want you to play, and I want you, when you promote, I want you to promote players based on having met 1, 2, 3 requirements. Do you remember when I said that? Style of play does not just, hey, come like that. It doesn't come like that. Style of play, it takes time. You must have a coach that whom you know as management that this coach can play this style of play. We want a coach who can play this certain type of football. So therefore, we can't hire everyone. Like say, for example, this is me like making you think now. We want Coach Peter. What is Coach Peter's style of play? Does Peter's style of play also have flair? Because Kaizer Chiefs used to be known as a team that has flair, that will allow your doctors, your teenage daughters, your tiki-tiki, your skara, your pulleys, the list is endless. That will allow them to express themselves. If you recall, there was a game where Makaring performed a skill in front of Pitso Mosimane when they were playing against Sundowns, and like he was mad. He was mad as if it was his own player. Like the way they do was mad, and that makes me to say that sure, Pitso, I like Pitso, and Pitso is a winner and all, but do you want winners who have a style of play, or do you want winners who can help us to win trophies and forget about the style of play? What kind of coaches are we looking for? Pause there before you answer. The coaches that you are looking for, the coaches that you have hired, and this is what Teko is saying. He's saying that all these three coaches, they all have had different style of plays. If you look at Sundowns, how they hire coaches, they hire coaches who will play shoeshine football, who will meet their style of play. Shoeshine football, which is also total football, like your Manchester City, like your Barcelona's, how they play, where they'll dominate ball position, where they'll want to share the ball. Recently, Mokoena says, I want my players to have 1,000 touches. I think it was 1,000. I want my players to have 1,000 touches. And he was told that his players, they did like 600 or so touches. He says, next time I want them to have 1,000 touches. That is the style of play. That's the style of play that Sundowns is known for. If you remember them playing against us in the early 2000s. Early 2000s, where they had like 24 passes or so when we were chasing the ball. That is the type of football that Mokoena wants to be known for, or that Sundowns wants to be known for. That is the style of play that Sundowns plays anyway. So he wants to implement his own ideas, but based on what is required from the Sundowns, but what is required from our own team, from our own management, from our own like yes, from what is Kaizer Chiefs style of play that the management says that this is our style of play as Kaizer Chiefs, this is our vision, and we want whoever or whichever coach that we employ to play this type of football, and we won't stop until we get that coach. And we can even go out there and buy this coach, even if we buy them out of their contracts, because we want this kind of coach to play this certain way. Because if you look now at the moment, we are talking about Pitso Mosimane, who has a different style of play. We're talking about Nabi, who has his own different style of play. We also talking about Mangoba Mngeti, who also has his style of play. We fans, sometimes we talk about our who's this coach? Dent Masilela. He has his own style of play. All these coaches, they have all different style of play. Manchester City says that if Pep goes and then we're looking for Dizebi, I think it's Dizebi, the Brighton coach, because that guy dominated Manchester City. But that guy, he plays a similar type of football as a Pep. There's something that makes him different, but he plays almost a similar style of play. So now that we want these coaches to come to Kaizer Chiefs, which of these coaches they have our style of play? What is our style of play? And say that we get Pitso, will we enjoy his style of football? And even if say that we don't, and we say no, we want a quick fix, it's going to help us to win the league and all, will we win the league being excited about how we play? Okay, sharp. Let's say now he goes back to Saudi Arabia. Who is the same, or who's the coach that comes close to him, who has a style of play like his, and also that style of play that Kaizer Chiefs probably can say, okay, you know what? Now this is our new style of play. Let us adopt it and then go forward. We're going to play this type of football. Because we also need to think along those lines. Okay, say that, okay, we don't have a style of play, and then come Pitso, and then he identifies our style of play and says, this is the style of play that Kaizer Chiefs will play from the senior too. the juniors. Who can take over from him and play that type of football? Or will another coach comes and then plays a different style of play? We talk about players being confused. Under this coach, they were playing like this. Your Zwanes were playing more. They had more game time. Your Dushalala had more game time. They were playing a certain type of football under Zwane and all. But those guys, isn't the reason why they are not adapting yet is because they were now familiar with a different style of play? Just asking. Just think on that. Let me continue on the article. He may not have fulfilled his dream of playing for Kaizer Chiefs, but did not stop the Modise from achieving football stardom. Few years ago, Modise revealed that he would have snapped Orlando Pirates and Mamelodi Sundowns if Chiefs called him. This is interesting. This is so interesting. So it means what this guy liked Kaizer Chiefs more than he liked these other teams that he played for. Wow, this is interesting. It's a revelation to me. I did not know this. Did not know this. But yeah, anyway. So it says that he would have snapped these two teams had Kaizer Chiefs called him and asked him to join them when he wanted to leave SuperSport United for a bigger club in 2007. That call never came and he joined Buccaneers instead before moving on to Mamelodi Sundowns in 2011. A self-confessed Kaizer Chiefs fan, Modise continues to look at what is happening at Naturena with keen eyes. This is so interesting. Now I understand why he's talking about Kaizer Chiefs. As Amakhosi trophy droughts continues, Chiefs have now gone 9 seasons without a trophy. They were recently knocked out on Nedbank Cup by the struggling Motsipe Foundation championship side, Milford FC. Modise, who is one of the ambassadors for the Nedbank Cup, believes that going back to their roots and playing the Kaizer Chiefs style or Kaizer Chiefs way could be what the club needs in order to return to the glory days. I don't know what the Kaizer Chiefs style, but what Doctor said and a couple of articles that I read or videos that I did, he said that Kaizer Chiefs used to have wingers who are speedy and skillful, and then we have that exceptional number 10, someone who control the game, someone who will be able to score and create chances. So that could be the style of play of Kaizer Chiefs, have that exceptional number 10, and then you have your wingers who are skillful and speedy, and then crossing the ball. Like football has evolved. Like we can't run away from that. The football has evolved. That the wingers no longer, not many do that. Not many wingers in football, in nowadays football, are crossing the ball. So probably that also we need to put into consideration, because even in Europe it's the same. Wingers, they cut inside, they're now inverted wingers, they cut inside, then they score goals. That's why you find wingers who are scoring wingers like your Marcus Rashford, your Mahrez, your Foden. Yeah, can name them all. So let me continue. I want to hear where Teko is taking us, but it's talking about us going back to our roots and playing the Kaizer Chiefs style of play, which I think is referring to what Doctor said before. He says, Chiefs have changed coaches in the last 2 seasons. They have had 3 coaches and 3 different style of play in an interview that he did with Pagat. I think the biggest thing that needs to happen at Kaizer Chiefs is to go back to the culture of what Kaizer Chiefs is. The way Kaizer Chiefs play. It's something we have not seen in a long time, and that means that they need to find a coach that will instill this kind of play, and the players will buy into it. This is what I just said. Like in short, the committee is just saying that, and then it's also saying that we need to buy players who will buy into this Kaizer Chiefs style of play. And this is another point that is interesting that he's raising, because we can want the coach to have a style of play, but if he does not have the players that he wants or that can play that type of football, therefore it defeats the purpose. That's why sometimes it might take longer to implement that style of play. Same as what is happening with Eric Ten Hag at Manchester United, because he used to play a different type of football at Ajax, but come Manchester, like he's not even implementing a style of play because it does not have those players to play that type of football. So the committee is basically talking about that. So that's also another element, an important ingredient that we need to know and be aware of, that for you to implement the style of play, you need to have the type of players who can play that. Not all players who are good in their respective clubs that they can come to Kaizer Chiefs and play that type of way, or that can fit in the coach's style of play. So we need to look at two things for us to achieve a style of play, or for us to have a style of play: by a coach who meets the club style of play, and by the players who meets the coaches or the club style of play. But at the moment, who's that coach? And if that coach leaves, who will take over from that coach? Things like that. Hence, we need to think about a coach who will come with his own technical team, because it's easy. It's easy, or it takes less time rather, if there are assistants who will help to implement that style of play. So that's why you find players who then take more training sessions, extra sessions, so they understand the coach better. That's what has happened with Manchester United. That Eric Ten Hag has gotten, I think the guy who's called Steve something, that assistant sits behind and explains what the coach expects. Yes, it hasn't come to fruition at the moment, but it's getting there with the help of assistant coach who will remain behind and help the players to buy into the vision quicker. So that's also another factor when we need to think and allow the coach to come with his own technical team. I'm going to speak more about that when I speak about Pitso Musiman some other time. The coach, or this article continues to read like this. I also think that what happens might help. Oh, I think that what might help is to have people on the bench that understand the Kaizer Chiefs, or black and gold, understand the black and gold players that have played for the club and won trophies for the club. I hear where Teko is taking us, or what he's saying or referring to. I can agree and can also disagree with this. It does not always work. It does not always work. It's a good strategy, but it does not always work. Let's go back. Let's go back, and I'll just show you this. I'll just show you this. It works sometimes. It doesn't work. I'll show you this. Manchester United, they went for Ole, and Ole had Michael Carrick, and the type of football they were playing, it was boring. It was boring. It was boring. They had like clubs legends, but the type of football they were playing, it was boring, and they were losing. They lost. I think they lost. I don't know. I don't remember, but they lost quite a number of games, like consecutively, like game after game they lost, and then eventually they were kicked out. So the thing is that if a coach has never played for that team, now I'm talking about the different side of the coin. If a coach has never played for the team and then you rope in a legend, the legend sometimes think that they know better than the coach. That legend, sometimes they think that they know better. Let's look at what happened with us. We had Zwane on the bench under Baxter, under Hunt, and did it help? No, it did not work. It did not work. So, like I said, that's why I said that it doesn't always work. They still have even now Shepard. Does it help? No. So probably Teko should have said here, it depends with the players that the team has to rope in as the assistant coaches, and probably should have said that. But also, Kaizer Chiefs might have taken that direction when they refused to take Nabi, because they said, no, we can't get rid of Matibe, can't get rid of Shepard and Zwane. So I hear what Teko is talking about, but also I think he did not remember when he was talking or when he said this, did not remember, I did not put into consideration the fact that we had Zwane Shepherd and your Matibes who played for the team, but it did not work. So it depends with the kind of people that will be on the bench. But, but, if, say, for example, Mangoba, just talking hypothetical, if Mangoba was to say that, okay, look, if I was to have Doctor on the bench and Oiskose, give me those two guys and maybe Farouk Khan as well. Give me those guys and see if we can't build or rebuild this team. But also someone will say that, but Doctor failed at, was it Celtic? He failed at Celtic. It no, Celtic or it was Black Leopards. No, Black Leopards. He failed at Black Leopards. He did nothing. Like he failed the club. So people will start making those things and so guys, let me know what you think. Let me know what you think. Let me just finish this article. That will remind the players about the importance of winning trophies. You need to have legends closer to the club if you want to succeed, because there's certain information that coaches are unable to get to the players, but the legends can. Okay, the article is, yeah, pay there. But I hear where Teko is coming from, but also I can say that it depends with the kind of legends. There are legends that are not really respected in the club. Like these players they cannot really respect. Oh, also it could be that the current players, they do not know these legends, so they don't know what they've achieved, and therefore it would be nothing for them to be trained under as an assistant coach under Dr. Kumalo, for example, or Ace Kusa or Tiki Tiki, or you name them, or even your Simpiwe Shabalala. It might mean nothing to them. Either they don't know them or either they really don't like them. Because you know that soccer players, some of them they have ego, they're egoistic. So I hear what Teko is going or saying in this article, but yeah, guys, let me know what you think. I've said so much, guys. I'm out. I've said so much. Let me go and rest. I'll see you. Take care of yourselves. Amakhosi, fan channel. Love you.